You know that feeling when you have everything planned in English?
Oh, yes. Inside your head, the sentence is perfect.
It's beautiful grammar, right? Maybe a complex conditional structure.
Absolutely flawless, like a perfect piece of language architecture.
But then you open your mouth to talk to a native speaker.
And your brain just freezes up.
It just stops working, nothing comes out, or maybe just 3 words, really slowly.
And those 3 words are probably in the wrong tense, even though you practiced it last night.
That feeling of panic, it's the worst. It's so common for English learners.
It is, and that is exactly what we are going to talk about today.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mia.
And I'm Leo.
Welcome back to the English Blend. We're here to help you use real English.
Real English for everyday life in the West. That's our topic today.
We want to tackle that biggest challenge, moving from just studying English to actually using English.
Moving from the classroom to the cafe or the office or the street.
Exactly. So grab your coffee and let's get started. We want you to feel confident.
Today is all about understanding that confidence comes from one place, and that is fluency.
Fluency, Leo, that's the key word, and we need to define it right away.
People often confuse fluency with accuracy, don't they?
They do. They think fluency means having perfect grammar and perfect pronunciation.
Like you need to sound like a news anchor or a university professor.
But that is accuracy. Accuracy is about following the rules perfectly, getting every verb ending correct.
Which is important, eventually, for advanced speakers. We aren't saying accuracy is bad.
Of course not. But fluency is something different entirely.
Fluency at its heart is the ability to keep the conversation moving.
It's the ability to communicate effectively. It means getting your point across.
That's a great phrase right there, getting your point across. It means making sure the other person understands your main idea.
Let's say you were ordering coffee. Accuracy would be saying, "May I please have a large latte with oat milk, and I would appreciate it if you could heat it slightly."
Very polite, very accurate.
Fluency might be, "Big latte, oat milk, please warm up a little."
The barista knows exactly what you mean. You communicated the essential information.
The message was delivered. That's fluency.
And that's what we need in real life. We need communication, not perfection.
Think about it. When you speak your native language, you make mistakes all the time.
Oh, I misspeak constantly. I pause, I forget words, I use like too much.
Me too. Nobody judges us because the goal isn't perfect grammar. The goal is connection.
When you are learning English, we want you to shift that focus.
Stop worrying about the perfect tense. Start focusing on connecting the ideas.
And this brings us to the biggest blocker for fluency, the thing that stops us cold.
The grammar trap.
Exactly. Why does grammar block fluency, Mia?
Because when you are speaking in real time, you only have milliseconds to formulate a response.
It's fast. If you're in a cafe or talking to a colleague, they aren't waiting 5 minutes for you.
They're waiting maybe 2 or 3 seconds. That's it.
And what do most learners do during those 2 or 3 seconds?
They try to remember the past perfect continuous tense. They try to find the right preposition. Should I say on the chair or at the chair?
And while you are having that internal grammar debate,
The conversation has moved on. The other person is confused, or they have started talking to someone else.
that internal check, that self-correction mechanism is a killer for real-time speech.
You are prioritizing accuracy over speed.
And speed is what matters for communication.
I went camping.
That sounds fun.
If you say, I go camping last Saturday, your grammar is wrong. It should be, I went camping. But does your friend understand that you were in a tent and having fun a few days ago?
Yes, perfectly. The communication succeeds despite the error.
That's why we say fluency is communication, not perfection.
When you're learning to drive, you don't worry about optimizing the engine on day one. You just need to steer and stop.
You need to move, get from point A to point B. The small bumps don't matter as long as you arrive safely.
The grammar is the engine optimization. The fluency is the steering wheel. Focus on steering first.
We need to learn how to talk without thinking about rules. This leads us to a crucial cultural note.
Oh, I love the cultural notes. Tell us. In many Western English-speaking cultures, especially in casual settings, people really value quick interaction and authenticity.
That's true. If you are speaking slowly because you are meticulously translating word for word,
It can sometimes sound a little bit unnatural or even a little too formal for a relaxed setting.
they prefer the flow. They prefer the personality of the speaker to come through, even if the structure is messy.
Let me give you a quick story. I was working with a colleague from outside the US.
Okay.
His English was technically A2 level. Very simple sentences. He often used the wrong verb tense.
So, low accuracy.
Very low. But he was fearless. We were in a meeting and he had a major idea about a project timeline.
That's a high-stakes situation.
It is. He raised his hand and he said, "We need move quickly. My idea, we launch product next month, not later."
Short, punchy sentences.
Yes, if I analyze the grammar, we need to move quickly. My idea is, we will launch.
So many small mistakes.
But the impact was huge. Everyone immediately understood his core point, urgency and a new timeline.
He got his point across. He achieved fluency. The idea was immediately discussed.
If he had stopped for 5 seconds to calculate the perfect passive voice construction, the moment would have been lost.
That's the core lesson right there. Real life doesn't wait for you to look up the subjunctive mood.
Not at all. So how do we train ourselves to prioritize communication over perfection? We have some practical steps.
We have 3 essential steps, plus a couple of bonus ideas to build real-world fluency.
Step 1, and this is huge, massive listening input.
Yes, this is so important. We don't just mean listening to complicated news reports.
We mean listening to the kind of English you want to speak. Casual conversations, podcasts like ours, YouTube videos, simple TV shows.
Why listening, Leo? Because listening trains your brain to recognize chunks of language.
Exactly. Think about how children learn. They don't study grammar rules. They hear phrases repeated thousands of times.
They hear the whole unit. I want to go home. They don't hear I want plus to plus go plus home.
The whole phrase, "I want to go home," becomes one single unit of sound and meaning. That's a language chunk.
When you hear English naturally and massively, your brain starts building an automatic dictionary of these chunks.
So when you go to speak, you aren't building a sentence word by word, applying grammar rules to each one.
You are pulling out a pre-made chunk, like Lego blocks.
If you need to express that you are happy about something, you don't calculate subject plus verb plus adjective.
You just pull out the chunk, that's fantastic, or I'm really looking forward to it.
That's the beauty of massive listening. It reduces the need for real-time grammar calculation.
You are absorbing the rhythm and the flow of native speech.
Okay, tip number 2 is actually related to that. Focus on chunks, not isolated vocabulary.
If you learn the word delicious, don't just write down delicious equals tasty.
That pizza was absolutely delicious.
Or, what a delicious meal.
When you study English, always try to learn 3 or 4 words surrounding your target word.
Because that is how it will appear in conversation. No one uses a single word perfectly isolated in the air.
This applies to idioms too, like the phrase we used earlier, get your point across. Learn it as one unit.
If you try to translate get your point and across separately, it makes no sense. But as a chunk, it's a perfect tool for expressing successful communication.
It speeds up your output dramatically.
Okay, tip number 3 is maybe the most practical tool for overcoming that frozen feeling.
I think I know which one you mean. The 3-second rule.
Yes, we love the 3-second rule.
What is it, Mia?
It's simple, but it takes discipline. When someone asks you a question or makes a comment, you have 3 seconds to respond.
3 seconds. Not 5, not 10.
If you don't start speaking within 3 seconds, you have failed the fluency test. You have allowed your inner grammar editor to win.
The moment you pause for too long, you activate the analysis section of your brain. The grammar check starts. Is this a, an, or the? Should I use the present perfect or simple past? That is the moment where you hit a wall. That's another great phrase, by the way. Hitting a wall means you suddenly stop progress because you encounter a major difficulty or block.
If you hit a wall in speaking, the conversation stops. So the 3-second rule forces you to jump over the wall. You must speak something.
Even if it's just, oh, wow, that's interesting, or let me think. Use a filler phrase if you need time. That is fluent communication. Fillers are natural.
Well, or right. Okay, or that's a tough one.
Those are fluent sounds.
The trick is to speak before the perfectionist can stop you.
And if you make a mistake, if you use the wrong tense,
Who cares? Seriously, it's not the end of the world.
another excellent phrase, not the end of the world. It means the situation is not serious, disastrous, or catastrophic.
If you say, I go to the park yesterday, instead of I went to the park yesterday, is it the end of the world? No.
The listener understands 99% of your meaning. They are focused on the park, not your verb conjugation.
So use the 3-second rule. Train yourself to tolerate those small mistakes.
Now, let's talk about a bonus tip, which is fantastic for self-correction without pressure.
Tip number 4, record yourself speaking.
This sounds painful, I know. Hearing your own voice is strange.
It is, but this practice shifts your focus. You are not under pressure from a real person waiting for an answer.
You can choose a simple topic, maybe describing your morning routine or what you ate for lunch.
Record for 1 minute. Just talk. Don't stop. Use the 3-second rule on yourself.
Then, listen back. Don't listen for every tiny mistake.
Listen for communication success. Did I understand my own story? Did I keep the flow going?
If you notice you repeatedly misuse the same verb tense, then you go and look up that specific rule.
This is a crucial distinction. You study the grammar after you have attempted communication, not before.
You are fixing the output, not blocking the input.
And our final practical step, tip number 5, lower your language ego.
Oh, I like that term. Language ego.
We all have an ego, right? We want to sound smart. We want people to respect our intelligence.
And when we speak a new language, we often feel like we sound like a child or maybe less intelligent than we are.
That fear of sounding silly is the biggest barrier to fluency. It causes the freeze.
You have to accept that when you are learning, you will sound messy. You will sound a bit simple sometimes.
But remember, the native speaker knows you are learning. They appreciate the effort. They are focused on the meaning.
When you go to a foreign country and speak even a little bit of the local language poorly, people smile. They are happy you tried.
It's the same with English. Lower the expectation that you must be perfect.
Tell yourself, I am here to connect. I am here to exchange information. I am not here to pass an exam.
That shift in mindset releases so much pressure. You feel lighter. You speak faster.
Let's review those core principles one more time, Mia, because repetition is how we learn those chunks.
Absolutely. Principle 1. Fluency is about getting your message across, not perfect grammar.
Principle 2, grammar is a tool for refinement, not a barrier to starting the conversation. Use the chunks.
Principle 3. The 3-second rule is your best friend. Speak. Don't pause.
And remember those powerful phrases we covered today. They are great chunks for everyday communication.
Let's review our language focus phrases.
The first one was, get your point across.
Use this when you talk about successful communication. For example, my presentation wasn't perfectly structured, but I definitely got my point across.
It means the listeners understood the essential message.
The second phrase was hit a wall.
If you stop making progress, either in speaking or studying, you hit a lull. I was studying vocabulary for 3 hours, and then I just hit a wall. I couldn't remember anything.
It describes that feeling of a sudden block or exhaustion.
And the third, the most comforting one, not the end of the world.
If something goes slightly wrong, like you miss a train or you use the wrong word in an email, you tell yourself, oh well, it's not the end of the world.
It helps you maintain perspective. It reduces the stress associated with making mistakes.
Mistakes are learning opportunities, not disasters.
They are just little detours on the road to fluency.
So, your homework this week is to start talking to yourself.
Not silently. Talk out loud. Narrate your life. I am making coffee now. I put the milk in the cup. I am waiting for the water to boil. Simple sentences.
And when you pause for more than 3 seconds, force yourself to finish the sentence, even if it's grammatically wrong. You are building muscle memory for speed, not accuracy.
And remember that cultural note. Native speakers prefer flow and authenticity over formal perfection. Don't be afraid to sound like yourself.
That's the real goal of Real English for Everyday Life in the West. It's about living your life through the language, being able to participate.
It's about ordering that latte and making sure they know you want oat milk. Success.
And if they give you cow's milk instead, you can just say, oh well, not the end of the world.
Exactly. Just make sure you get your point across next time. This was such an important discussion, Mia. It's a complete mindset shift for so many learners.
It really is. Stop thinking about the textbook. Start thinking about the street conversation.
Listen massively, learn those chunks, and jump over that grammar wall.
We hope this gave you the confidence boost you needed to go out there and speak.
Thank you so much for joining us today on the English Blend.
That was a great talk. We'll be back next week to dive into idioms used in Western workplaces, stuff like low-hanging fruit and moving the goalposts.
Ooh, essential business language. Don't miss it.
Yes, see you in the next episode of The English Blend.
Bye, everyone. Keep practicing your fluency.